Hi, my name is Pop. I'm making a video in Ubuntu Basics, a tutorial which shows how with LibreOffice Writer, the word processor, with one or two clicks you can change your file and save it as an ebook reader file, EPUB file, very similar to a prior video that I made which showed how you could with one click change your file and save it as a PDF file. This time it's going to be EPUB. And EPUB is one of the many different kinds of file formats that are used on e-readers such as iPad, Android, Kindle, and so on. This particular one can be read on either an iPad, EPUB, or with Calibre, and I have a prior video that shows how to use Calibre. So let me get going here and I'm going to show you how to do this. The first thing you're going to do is open up, of course, a word processor file. So I'm going to go to Applications, Office, and then LibreOffice Writer. I have a template in my LibreOffice Writer program that starts off everything that I open up in the same manner. And I have a header at the top that says title, page 1 of how many ever pages I've got, and then there's a blank line. And then I've got title, and then it says pop. You can do this yourself real easy. I'll just show this really quick as an aside. You go to File, and then you go down to Templates, and you'll go to Organize, and you're going to save whatever you want to save, and you can save several of them. That way when it opens up it's not completely blank. First thing I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to put in a header. Now that's not a header like up here at the top of each page of the paper, but I'm going to put in something like chapter 1, chapter 2, and so forth. And if you go up here to apply style, you can see all the different ones. Now right here I'm going to hit heading 1, and I have already assigned heading 1 to say that it's chapter 1, and then I'm going to just put in the name of the chapter. And now when I hit enter, it goes down to the next line, and saved in my clipboard I've just got some gobbledygook text, and I'll just put in Control V and it says text. Okay, hit enter to make a blank line, and then hit enter again, and I'll put in some more text with Control V, and now I'm at the bottom of that. And now I'm going to go up here and put in the second chapter. The other thing you can do is you can do a shortcut. You can just hit, that was header 1, right? So you hit Control 1, and let me go down here, Control 1, and now we're in chapter 2. The first chapter was A, B, C. This is going to be D, E, F. But let's go up, and remember I put in text twice. In chapter 1 I had 2 paragraphs. Right here I'm going to hit Control 2, and Control 2 is the second header. And here this is going to be sort of like when you make an outline, you'll have points 1, 2, and 3, and under point 1 I'm going to have A, B, and C, and so forth. However, in header 2 right here, it didn't put anything in because let's see, I had A, B, C, and D, E, F. This is going to be points 1, 2, 3, and see how it's kind of large print. It's Nimbus Sans L at 14. Actually, you can change that if you want to. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to heading 2, and when I hit heading 2 I'm going to right click and modify it, and I'm going to make the background color, let's make it light yellow. I like light yellow. And for font, I'm going to go, I'm really boring. I use the same old font all the time. And you can do any kind you want. But I don't know why I'm so compulsive. I've just got to use this same one, regular and 12. But I'm going to underline this one. And here we go, single underline, and there we are. Apply. Close. Close. Now notice that in the chapters up here I had it say 1, and then the second chapter it says chapter 2. It numbers those sequentially automatically. The way you do that is to go up here to Tools and go to Outline Numbering, and then you go to Numbering and see how it says 1, 2, 3. And I can just go ahead and put in the word chapter. I'll make it short, chap, and then afterwards I'm going to put what's after it. I'll put dash dash dash. OK, and see how it automatically puts in chap 2 dash 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 and then DEF. OK, it did that also up here, but I want to do the same thing down here in the yellow one, and let's see, what can I do. I'll go to Tools and I'll go to Outline Numbering, and I'm going to go to Heading 2, Level 2, and the numbering I'm going to go ABC, and I'll call, what do I call that? Sub space, and then here I'll just put that in and see how that works. And in fact, when I get out of here, let's put in some text right here. Control V, and I'll do that again. Heading 2, I'll put in Control 2, and that was 1, 2, 3. This will be 4, 5, 6. Okay. To show you what this looks like, let me go to Page Preview. And I'll have to zoom in on that, I guess, so that you can see it better, because you might be looking at this with a phone or something. Now, the blue is the header that's on the top of each page. It's a couple of lines. It says Title, Page 1 of 2, and then here's the second page. It says Page 2 of 2. Chapter 1, it's ABC. I need to zoom in on that or something, because you probably can't see that good at all. But I did promise you that we're going to do something else. This is all preliminary. This is C1, header 1. This is the header 2, which is sort of the outline indentation of that. And then we go down, and I've got another sub indentation, and then the next page is going to show the rest. Let me get out of this. Now I'm going to save this as exported as a PDF file, and I'm going to say export. Takes a second, and it says, where do you want to put it? Well, I want to put it on the desktop, I think. I'll just call it PDF 1, and I'm going to save it. And that just takes a second. So let me diminish this thing and open up the PDF file. The PDF file is rather slick because it is going to show the chapters to the side, and they're indented automatically. This is chapter 1 ABC, and when I tap on subchapter A, it goes right to it. Subchapter B, it goes right to it, and then when it goes to the last one, like that. The PDF files are very, very nice. There's a problem with them though. When you do a PDF file on an ebook reader, you can enlarge the text okay, but when you do enlarge the text, you won't see the whole thing. It doesn't automatically reflow the same way that an ebook reader file does. The PDF files just won't do that. Let me close this, and we are in the ODT file, which is as yet untitled. I'm going to move this over just a little bit, make it slightly smaller. I'll make it bigger a little bit. Let's see. I want to go about like 3/4 of the screen. There we go. Now when I hit F5, it shows the chapters over there, and you can do the same thing with the with this thing as you can with a PDF file. You can just bounce around with the navigator. That's F5. But I promised you that I was going to show you how to convert all of this into an EPUB document. Well, when you go over here to File, it's got an export as PDF. And that's all you got to do. You just click it, give it a name, tell it where to save it at, and you got a PDF file. It just takes a second. Well, you can go online and download some extra accessories for OpenOffice Writer, and you have to go online to do this. And here where I have View Toolbar, I downloaded one, and it shows up here at the very bottom, and it's called Writer to EPUB. You have to go online, just search for Writer to EPUB, and when you install that, it just takes a second. It puts this business right up here, and there are 3 things that you can goof with. One is the metadata. I'm going to tap that. Oh, it says please save your text before processing. I have to give it a name. Okay, so I go File, Save, and where am I going to save it? Well, I'm going to save it on the desktop, and I'm going to call it Test, and it's going to be ODT. Save. Okay, great. It's saved on the desktop as ODT. And now I'm going to tap the metadata again. That's the one here that says 1. And you give it a name. I'll call it Test. And the author is me, Pup. And then I'll say OK. And then over here, I'm tapping that. It takes a second. That's my preferences. Actually, you don't have to mess with any of this. The one over here on the far left is the one that's going to do the trick. But here are the preferences, and you can tell it to do a variety of things, change the font and so forth. But basically, I want to keep everything exactly like the ODT file. And when I hit this one, it takes a second, and I'll say OK. Now draw your attention to the bottom. It takes a second to do this. Saving document. And I think that's it. Ooh, I didn't tell it where to save it. It probably saved it in some weird location. It took 19 seconds. I'll go OK. Now I'm going to diminish the writer ODT file. And I have to find the EPUB. Here it is. Now I want to show you something. When you hit EPUB and tap on it, it's going to say, what do you want to open it with? Well, normally you're going to open it up with Calibre. That's the default. You have to have Calibre installed, and I showed in a prior video tutorial how to work with Calibre. But I'm going to show you a trick where you don't have to use Calibre. Now, Calibre can take that ODT file and convert it for you also. But in this video I just showed you how you could convert the file from LibreOffice Writer directly by tapping on it with that little download accessory. Now I just hit Calibre, and Calibre, you see, takes, I don't know, 10 seconds or so to load. It's rather a slow loading program. I've got Calibre open, and it's looking for stuff to add, and I'm going to abort this adding. And what you do with Calibre is you go over here and add something, and we're going to go, where are we, desktop, and here is the ODT file. I can add the ODT file, and it takes a few seconds, and it's going to put it into the Calibre database. And then when it does, you can go up here, and this second one changes the metadata where it says author and title, and then this one right here will allow you to convert the book. Now Calibre is very versatile in that when you press on this, I've got to select the book first. When you tap on this, it's going to ask you, well, what do you want to convert it into? And it has all of these different output formats, and the first one is EPUB, and that's what I have already done. Now I can convert this into EPUB, and Calibre will do it. But I want to show you that you don't even have to open up Calibre if you want to just look at this file. And what you can do is you can right click it, go to Properties, and the Open With, you can either open it with Calibre, or you can open it with e-reader, the e-reader portion of Calibre, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just tapping it, and it should open. Open with eBook Reader Viewer. Now this is the eBook Reader Viewer that comes with Calibre, and as you can see, it gives us the table of contents. It's doing it twice. And here are the subheadings, and when you tap on them, they go right to it. The nice thing about the ebook is that if you go full page, it stretches out the line. If you make it smaller, it condenses the line, but it doesn't mess up. It looks nice. And you can then take this and send it by means of your Dropbox. I'm opening Dropbox now, and I'm taking this file and I'm throwing it over here, and you see the little circle thing right there. The circle thing tells you that it's going to the Dropbox folder, and it is now being sent over to my iPad, and with my iPad it's already there, and I can look at it on my iPad, and I'll look at it with the program on the iPad called Stanza, or there are several of them actually. So in this manner you can enlarge the text and so forth, and it looks very nice. Now if you are using a phone, the phone has such a small screen that you can hardly see it, and the ebook files are nicer than the PDF files in this way. Well, that's pretty much all I got. My name is Pop, and I hope you enjoyed this. I have about 100 YouTube videos. Most of them are called Ubuntu Basics, and I thank you very much.